We're in the A to B taxi cab luxury Mercedes jet class en route to the Abbey Stadium for an evening with Cambridge Hall of Fame inductee and all-round Cambridge United legend. It's a pleasure to say I'm joined here by Dion Dublin. How are you doing, Dion?
You know what? I'm all right, actually, because I'm in a very luxurious vehicle, by the way. What's all this about here? You're looking after me, aren't you? What's going on? I love it. It's amazing. It really is.
Only the best for you, Dion, and appreciate the plug, mate. So, as I say, boyhood hero of mine. We've had a chat in the bar beforehand. Yeah. I was there all them years ago at Chesterfield. So you're looking forward to going back to the Abbey and enjoying an evening of hospitality and meeting some of the Amber Army.
It's always good. I'm always excited to come back. I always get treated in a certain way, which is great. Obviously, I've got my own bar there, which is nice as well. But I started here. Do you know what I mean? This is my career as a professional started at Norwich, but going from a boy to a man was at Cambridge United when I had Chris Turner, God rest his soul. He gave me the chance. You know, he was the turning point for Cambridge United back then, and Becky was his assistant, and Graham Scarf was there as well. So, and Gary Johnson as well. So, all those coaches really helped me to sort of turn my career into something that was sort of productive. So, Cambridge United, I owe a lot to, and the fans are great to me as well. So, every time I come back, it's just like coming home. It's great.
Excellent. So you mentioned some of them games and that era, Dion, in the early 90s there. I mean, I first started going as a supporter when
I recognise a few of these pubs as we're walking by the way. There's a few pubs that I recognise as well. There's a few pubs. Is this the King Street? You're on King Street now?
We are up Hills Road, Dion.
There's a road down here called the King Street Run, where you do loads of pubs on the King Street Run?
It's a little bit further down, but we're heading in that direction.
We've done that a few times, the players did. Nobody knew about it, but the players did a few King Street runs after training. Just thought I'd give you a bit of an insight.
I hope that weren't on a Friday night.
Not on a Friday, on a Tuesday. Day off on a Wednesday. Don't tell the manager.
And who was the culprits with the drinking crew?
No. You're not getting any names, I'm afraid.
Okay, fair enough. So just, as I say, I started going in 1988, the year you signed, Dion, and it was like a golden era, as you said. And Cambridge were like the giant killers, especially in cups. Was there any standout games for you that stood out that still give you that tingle now when you talk about them?
There's so many, to be fair. Obviously, we'll probably get to it, but Chesterfield is the top of the tree without a doubt at Wembley. Third Division playoff, 1990, the first one at Wembley. But games like Bristol City, I think we won 5-1. You're nodding away here, so if you're nodding, I know I'm right. There was a game against Peterborough, I'm sure we won 5-1 as well. I think one of the games...
Rumour you got a hat-trick, Dion, in that game?
I didn't bring it up for that reason, but thanks very much for reminding me. We beat Millwall at home as well. I think we beat Millwall at home as well. I think that day it was a very bizarre goal. I think the wind caught the ball or something.
I'll tell you what it was, Dion. It was Dave Thompson, who's now a postman in the Ely area. Keith Brannigan was in goal, the former Cambridge United man. He's come rushing out. Thompson played it back, and it went just over the line, and Brannigan tried to scoop it away, but we won 1-0.
Yeah, I knew there was an odd goal within that game, and I knew we won it 1-0, but it was just... There was loads of games back then that we seemed to either do well in or get lucky in, or, it was just an amazing time of togetherness. And because we were all nearly at the same age, 2 or 3 years, myself, Chrissy Ledgerton, Liam Dace, Chappie, Tony Dennis, Gary Clayton and Johnny Vaughan may have been a year earlier than us. But then you've got like the seniors back then, when I very first signed, were Lindsay Smith and George Riley. They were the seniors. They were the ones that kept us in check. But the rest of us, Lee Philpott and Mickey Cheetham, Richard Wilkins, we just, we had a great time, man. And we were so together. And the coaching was absolutely bang on. Nobody wanted to play against Cambridge United. Everybody hated us and everybody feared us.
Yeah, sure. You mentioned the togetherness, and we'll speak about John Beck, who's probably been Cambridge United's most successful manager. What was it about Becky? Obviously, he had his ways, and he made the Abbey a horrible place to visit. And I don't think he'd get away with splashing modern day players with icy, freezing cold water now. But it worked at the time. What was it about Becky? How would you sum John Beck up having played under him?
I'd say that Becky was a little bit bizarre. As a player himself, I knew that he was a footballer. When he played for QPR, I knew that he was in the middle of the park and he passed and he played the beautiful game. You know what I mean? He wasn't Glenn Hoddle, but he played the game like Glenn Hoddle, 1-2s and all that kind of stuff. And when he coached, it was all about get it into Andy Fensham, get it into Gary Clayton or Alan Kimball and bang it down the corner. I'll flick it on. It was stop in the corner for Mickey Cheetham and Lou Philpott to run onto and cross it for me, John Taylor and Stevie Claridge. And it was very, very simple. He made it very, very easy for us to play a certain way. It wasn't very pretty, but I don't think the fans give a damn because the way that we played that game, we played it very well. And like you said, it was very uncomfortable for fans to come and play against Cambridge United at the Abbey. And if you can imagine coming out of that tunnel at the Abbey with the likes of Chappie, who came across as a very, very soft and unassuming, very kind gentleman. When it came to match day, he was changed. And Johnny Vaughan, don't mess about with Johnny Vaughan, Gary Clayton, and George Riley. But Daishi as well, Daishi didn't take any prisoners, by the way, and he loved to scrap. So if Daishi was in, we all had to be in. Yeah. And it happened many, many times. Not that I can say on camera, sorry.
No, for sure. Good sort of summing up of Becky. Say he was had his certain ways and antics, but it got the best out of the players. Just mentioning probably your partner in crime, if you like, John Shaggy Taylor. I mean, it's a prolific partnership, probably the most prolific partnership Cambridge United has seen. Dublin and Taylor is still spoke about to this day in the favourite 11s from supporters. What was it like playing up front with Shaggy, and what was your relationship like with him on and off the pitch?
We got on well. We got on really well. I mean, even though it's always spoken about me and JT, Stevie Claridge had a massive part to play within the three of us as well. That little bit of a trio. A lot of goals between the three of us. We did well. We worked incredibly hard. Stevie was possibly the most natural centre forward out of the three of us. He seemed to do. He had more skill than me and JT. Put it that way. Me and JT were bigger and more boisterous, and we got involved a little bit more. Stevie was more skillful, and we all had our own sort of good things that we could do. I think that happened in so many different departments of Cambridge United back then. Forward-wise, that was it. That was the three we had. And then you had Mickey Cheetham and Richard Wilkins and who else was in there? Lee Philpott was in there, Chrissy Ledbetter, Tony Dennis. That midfield was strong, and horrible to a certain degree because they loved to tackle, they could pass, they could score goals, they could cross it. And then you had the back four, Andy Fensham, Chappie, Daishi and Twinney as well, Alan Kimball as well, Just, we had so many good players that we could play two teams at times. We were that good and that well drilled. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be another football club or group of players that will achieve so much so quickly, having just been brought together so suddenly.
Yeah. No, excellent. Thanks for that, Dion. That gives us an insight into, that team that we sort of adored in the early 90s. And as I say, even for myself as a supporter, it was just, I was so lucky. I said to you back there that I started coming when I was 8 years old. My granddad took me up. I signed up to the junior U's and I was spoiled really in that era. But just moving on forward, Dion, we're now in a good place with the football club. You're obviously part of the club. You're on the board of directors to bring your expertise, opinions in and stuff and see what you can add to the board. We've consolidated in League One, knocked Newcastle out of the FA Cup. Paul Barry is doing great work behind the scenes. We've got Mark Bonner who bleeds amber and black. Isn't it a great time to be a Hughes fan at the moment, Dion?
No, it is now. I will speak about the present day, but I just need to go back a little bit and just say back then when I was playing, you know, there was 6,000-7,000 people at the Abbey and 8,000 people. And then when I travelled away with Cambridge United, there was like, you know, 2,000-3,000 people travelling away. So I have to make sure that I thank those fans back then, because as good as we were and as good as John Beck was back in the day, without those fans travelling and those fans being at home, you know, looking after us and making sure that we made the Abbey a fortress, we wouldn't have achieved anything. So thank you very much for the fans back then. To the present day, Mark Bonner, by the way, if anybody's watching this, stay away from him. He's ours, exactly. and he's going nowhere. The way the club's being run at the moment is professional and organised and right. And that's why, you know, Godrich has got in touch with me and he said, listen, Dion, you know, we were interested in getting you involved in the board, which I felt was a bit of an honour, to be honest with you. It was nice to be asked. And it's nice to be able to help move the club forward with footballing decisions, how you look after players, how you look after the travel and all that kind of stuff of a player. It's nice to be able to be asked those questions. The board are very, very driven to take Cambridge back to where they were and where they deserve to be.
Yeah, great. Well put together that, Dion. And looking to the future then, I know that the club are looking to make improvements off the pitch, as you said. It's things like making it a pleasant experience, putting a fan zone in, jazzing the Abbey up a little bit, not too much.
Yeah.
But where do you see Cambridge United perhaps in a couple of years' time if they keep progressing and going the right way?
You know what? If it's right on the pitch, it's right off the pitch. So that's the main thing. We have to support Mark, make sure he has what he needs to continue doing what he's doing at the moment. You know, you can't, unfortunately, take your eye off the ball, and the ball's on the pitch. So you have to make sure that Mark gets what he wants, and Ben as well, who helps him close by him as well, make sure that they get what they need in order to keep the quality on the pitch. And then the rest of it can look after itself. The fan park and the fan experience is so important. But I know the fans will want to get the pitch right first. So let's get that right first. And if we can keep chipping away at the fan zone and the fan experience, absolutely spot on. Let's do things in the right order. Keep us winning games, and then we'll stay in Division 1, climb up the table, and hopefully make our way to the promised land, which we deserve to be in, without a doubt.
Absolutely, Dion, absolutely. And with people like yourself, Mark Bonner, Paul Barry, people that are passionate about the club, we as supporters believe that it can happen because we've got people behind the scenes that really care about the club. Appreciate you taking the time with these questions, Dion. Just got one last one. If you were to sum up in a sentence or two what this club means as we just... we've got the floodlights on the horizon coming down Newmarket Road. Just sum up in a few words what you think about this football club.
Well, I've made this journey many, many times. When I very first made this journey, going from Diggs, when I signed here in my it was a red Austin Maestro 1.3L. It was very exciting to pull up at the Abbey with the lights on, thinking, wow, I'm going to play for this club as a professional footballer. Cambridge United gambled on me. They had no idea whether I'd be good or bad or whatever. So I owe a lot to the football club. Going down the Newmarket Road, turning to Cambridge United means a lot. Being a director means even more. And I do believe that Cambridge United can go on, and they can keep achieving if we continue to do things in the right way. And at the moment, the owners and the directors want nothing more.
Thanks very much, Dion. Again, brilliantly put. I thank you personally. So you gave me some of my best experiences as a child. Amazing memories that will last forever. Thank you for everything you did back then. And thank you for being on board and remembering where you came from. And you're an absolute Cambridge United legend.
Absolute pleasure. Enjoyed it. Take care, guys.